Hey, and welcome back to our program. I watched the New Hampshire primary, I watched the Iowa caucuses, and this whole thing is as confusing as it could be. There's no real direction, no real front runner. Trump was dead after Iowa. Now he's leading in New Hampshire and coming into what should be a pretty good run for him in South Carolina that comes up next week. And it's very muddled. You had Marco Rubio on the rise. And I'll tell you, debates matter. I never thought that many people watched debates. But apparently the folks in New Hampshire did because Marco Rubio, the Florida senator, did a very shaky response to a number of questions. He was panned in the press, and that really got picked up on in New Hampshire, and he plummeted down in the polls to where he's almost an afterthought. Ted Cruz is kind of hanging in there, the senator from Texas, the more conservative doctrinal candidate. And you've got Trump, you've got John Kasich, who came out of nowhere and is now in second place. So it's all muddled and very confused. And let me tell you, this Republican primary is going to go down to the wire. I've been to a number of conventions, Republicans and Democrats. I've watched this thing shake like it is. And in my opinion, you could well see the Republicans go in their convention without a consensus candidate, a brokered convention. And you see, you've got a great number of superdelegates who are not pledged to anyone. I don't know the exact breakdown, but it's a sizable number, which means that if Trump came in with 38% of the delegates and it broke down from there, the superdelegates could actually pick the candidate. And it would be interesting to see the direction that's heading right now with so many negatives about so many candidates. What you could see is a brokered convention who may turn to another candidate. There is no rule saying you've got to support one of the candidates that went through the primary. An obvious candidate would be Paul Ryan, the present Speaker of the House, who you recall was the vice presidential nominee with Mitt Romney 4 years ago. And Ryan has gained a lot of respect, the overwhelming consensus to be the Speaker of the House, gets along with both sides, not a confrontational guy, pretty likable guy. You could see the Republicans possibly considering something like that. Jump over to the Democratic race. Look at what's happening. Hillary Clinton just got the socks beat off of her in New Hampshire by Bernie Sanders. It was a dead heat up in Iowa. So here's an avowed socialist, about as liberal as you can get, and Hillary Clinton just can't get any traction. And you've got this Benghazi thing hanging over her head. I don't see that as a major issue. The email scandals could be. I would be stunned if a Democratic president who had her as his Secretary of State, and she's also close to the Attorney General Loretta Lynch, they would indict her over this whole email mess. I think she violated the law, quite frankly, in the fact that these were secret emails, top secret, that she used in her personal server, which is not legal. Now, the thing going in her favor is no harm, no foul. What was the downside of it, quite frankly? She didn't benefit herself in any way, didn't send them on to somebody else, didn't financially have an interest in it. So what is the damage that she did, other than you could say, well, it's a real compromise to when you're dealing with the secrets of this country to put them on a personal server. Look at how you could be hacked. And we've had a number of major government officials who've had their email servers hacked. So here's what you could get. The Democrats aren't happy with Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, although he creates a great deal of excitement, particularly of young people. And, more women voted for him than Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. Did you know that a couple of days ago? So what you could get is the Democrats say, wait a minute, Clinton can't make it. She's got too much baggage. The Sanders campaign is way too liberal for this country. Let's turn our heads and see what else is available. And of course, you've got Joe Biden, who flirted with the election, decided not to run, still a very popular vice president with the Democratic rank and file. And you could see it's not as wild as maybe it was 3 or 4 weeks ago to see neither party in the primaries determining who their candidate will be. Then you've got Michael Bloomberg. The guy is a gazillionaire worth about $34 billion, I think, and his income keeps going up. Says he'll spend at least $1 billion of his own money if he runs. He's sizing up the campaign. Some people were asking about it. Wasn't really much of a thought a month ago. But with Sanders on the far right and Trump being all over the map, those two emerge, you could well see a Trump campaign going on. Hey, I guess what I'm saying is this is so far from being determined. We've got months and months to go. If you want to watch it for the give and the take, that's fine, but we're not going to get serious about any of this till March or April as more of these primaries come on. And you can see a very exciting presidential election. I love it. I love it. As someone who writes and follows it all, I think it's wonderful. I think it's a shakeup of the country and the average person being listened to a lot more. And that's very healthy for America, quite frankly. We need more candidates like that who've got the gumption to speak up for what they really believe in and not kowtow to the party interest or to the special interest. And I've seen we've got several of those here now, several who are not. But with Bloomberg and Sanders and Trump, you've got three that are not establishment candidates at all, Bloomberg being the closest to it. And we're going to have a real barn burner of an election coming on. So stay tuned with me. Look over my website. Enjoy some of the other things I put up here this week after a great Mardi Gras if you're in the Deep South. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.